Have you ever considered what it takes to build a water park? Well, it's not as easy as it seems. I'm going to teach you how to build your very own 3D model of a water park. While my partner and I had big dreams, we quickly realized that they weren't as easy as we thought they would be. First, you need to have a base for this project. Our problem was finding a base that we liked. In the beginning, we had decided on a huge base, but we soon realized that wouldn't work because it didn't even fit through the door. Considering how big our project would be and how heavy it would be, we knew there was no way to tilt it, so we returned to square one. After a long process of trying things out, we finally settled on a smaller base. It was scaled down a little, much more practical for the intended use, a model that could be transported. It was small enough that it fit through the door, but still large enough for us to be happy with. Once you decide your base, you should draw out where you want everything to be. This is essential because it helps you map out where everything is going to be, and that way you don't go overboard with what you are doing. This will overall help you in the long run, and you can always change it. Also, if you don't like the words, you can always cover them up. Once you draw it out, you should assess and decide what you have and what you need. We had the cardboard, but we needed 2 small pieces of wood for the cabana. We had the pools, but we needed the bridges, and so forth. Figure out what you need and only buy the necessities. That will save you a lot of time and money. When you start, you will need a lot of hot glue for this project. We started by cutting out the holes for the poles and gluing on the slides. You should start with the easier slide and then move on because it's a lot easier to find where the rest of them are going to be based on the first one. We measured it out by drawing lines on top of the wrapping paper that we used to cover our project. This proved very useful because we knew where everything was going to go. After, we added the lazy river. At this point, my partner and I had decided that we were going to use slime as water for the water park. Using the slime, we realized that we would have to fill a lot to keep the island afloat in the lazy river, so we glued a container to the base of the lazy river instead. After that, we started gluing. We glued on the cabana and the bridges first, then the other poles. A tip to follow is that when you're building the project, you should focus on the bigger and more important things first, and then you can add the details later. Even if it is tempting, you should focus on finishing the bigger things first. That way you have something to show if you have a deadline. One of the difficulties we found was figuring out how to make our tube slide stay up in the position we wanted it to. At first, we wanted it all fancy and curvy, but then we realized that it was not going to be easy. We finally found the solution by attaching it to a piece of compressed wood using strings and tacks. This was helpful because it also provided more support on the bottom along with the boxes so that the water park would be easy to carry. Since we wanted the lazy river to be level with the base, we cut a hole. The container was so big and the hole was so deep that we needed the box so the base was sturdy enough because without the box, the lazy river would pop out. Once you finish the big parts, you start adding the small details. We use Lego food on the picnic tables and palm trees in various locations throughout the water park. You can add all the details you want, keeping it simple or adding lots and lots of details. Make it your own. The very last step is testing it out. Use small balls or pom-poms, anything that goes down your slide, but for the tube slide, you want to use something heavy because something light won't have as much momentum as something heavy. This project is actually very fun to build and create. Just remember to take it piece by piece, spread out your project throughout the amount of time you're making it, and have fun.